Dr. Susan Trung has been caring for patients as an eye doctor for 20 plus years. She literally helps people to see 20/20. So she knows a thing or two about sight and vision. Sight is a function of your eyes, while vision is a function of your heart. In August 2014, when she lost a younger brother to cancer only 9 days after his diagnosis, she pivoted. Today, as a visionary strategist, she is passionate about inspiring all of you to live beyond 20/20 vision. Don't just merely exist. Wake up and truly live right here and right now. And now, your host, Dr. Susan Trung.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Dr. Susan Trung at Beyond 20/20 Vision. I have a special treat for you today. She is an amazing friend, an incredible friend, a soul sister, a TV producer, a serial entrepreneur, angel investor, and a mommy to 4 grade school children. Okay, I want you to picture that, 4 grade school children. Okay, I'm an empty nester, so that's different. And her name is Didi Wong, and here she is spending some time with us today. Welcome.
Hey.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Susan. So happy to be here and on your program. I love the intro that you have. It's so good.
Thank you. And Didi is, she's a mentor, a coach. She's been coaching me through life, business, and she's here to share. Here's what I love for Didi to share. Since this whole lockdown, and I'm in Florida, Didi's out in California, and we know each state is a little different with the whole lockdown rule. I will tell you, in Florida, we have been gradually opening up. Restaurants are up to 50% capacity. And we just received, my husband and I, we own a bar in downtown St. Petersburg, Florida, and we just received good news today that we can open our bar up for business this Friday. So, yay! But Didi and I, we've been talking, and out in California, she's like, oh my gosh, they're a little stricter with the whole lockdown. And She's like, I can't wait to be able to go out to eat again now. So, but since this lockdown, though, I want to ask Didi to share with all of us, because she can give us some great insights. What has it been like? And I mean, you're busy. You're a very busy businesswoman and coaching clients such as myself and balancing family life and work life.
Yeah, the first week was definitely trying times. We're now in our 12th week, but the first week, it was weird and new and homeschooling, which I've never done before. But I like to see the glass half full. So I was actually happy that I really got to see what kind of schoolwork my children were going through. And the 3rd grade math is really not that easy. And then I've become a really good cook. I don't usually like to cook. I don't spend too much time in the kitchen. But because we didn't use our cleaning lady or our babysitter, and really not trying to get delivery too much because you're still not sure who's touching and what viruses and what. I've been able to cook more. I cook a lot more, and that's another thing. And then cleaning, doing laundry, constantly tidying up, definitely was difficult. As with anything new, first 2 weeks, it takes a little bit of adaptation. And after that, it became easier. And seeing the glass half full, I was able to spend more time with my husband. He's home more often, obviously. And I'm really there 24/7 with my children, all 4 of them. I have a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, and twins at 4.5. And seeing them grow every single day has just been a blessing. And not really trying to be too clued in with the TV and the news, because it's been nonstop. And I just want to make sure my children continue just living a normal life without watching the TV and what the coronavirus is and now what the protests are and all of that. So yeah, definitely trying times. But I have to say, out of the 12 weeks, I've only had 3 days when I felt really out of sorts, like I was just in a bad mood or just not happy with the situation. But generally speaking, I've been able to flip the switch and see the quarantine as something that, it's a reset or a pivot time. And I've been able to work on my business actually much more than usual. The only thing is just I've been gaining a little weight, which I think is normal. And I know when the world opened back up and I can go back to yoga classes, I'm fine with, going back to the gym and stuff like that. But yeah, I've been probably munching a little bit more because I'm just constantly at the kitchen.
I think many of us can relate to that, because I've been talking to others. I'm still seeing patients and talking to friends and patients, and they're like, "Yeah, I put on a little more weight because I've been eat, sit, and just trying to stay active by running around and tending to housework." But it's interesting, both of us being Asian here, in our Asian culture, putting on some weight, that's a sign of good living, right? A good life. Well,
not really. Not in my parents' eyes.
But
in the olden days, that's what we believe.
Exactly. But we know now it's a matter of staying healthy. And
healthy.
It's not necessarily being skinny, but the picture of healthy is different for everyone. It's having that level of energy so we can tend to.
Exactly. Right? It's really more about the energy. Exactly.
Energy level. And yes. And I think many of you out there listening can relate to what Didi's sharing here. But what I find really amazing about Didi is so many of us have, because we're home and we're on top of each other more 24/7. How is it that, and sometimes we can drive each other crazy. How do you prevent from getting into that type of situation, whether it's with the husband, with our spouse, our partners, or with the children, just getting on your last nerve and all?
Right. And I'm going to be very honest about this subject, as I always am with you, Susan, and you are too with me. There have been times when I really thought about just being very vocal to my husband about how I feel like I'm doing most of the work. I mean, really, the first few weeks were very much I'm the cooking, I'm the cleaning, I did a lot of the homeschooling that I could do, and I was still running in doing my businesses. And I was getting a little bit annoyed with Michael, but we had a good talk. And it's not that he doesn't help. I just thought it was a little bit imbalanced because we are both in the same situation. So I felt like I would have really liked that it would be 50-50 where, but it's just the doer in me that I jump to doing things when I see things needed to be done, rather than be more relaxed about, maybe he's just has a different pace. And so I've gotten to understand that it's not that he doesn't want to help me. It's not that he doesn't want to support me. It's that I am just faster in getting stuff done. And it's always been this way. It's not like it's new. So instead of getting it all done and feeling like, oh, I'm doing it again, and I'm putting the dishes in again, and I'm doing the laundry and folding again. Instead of that, now I've gotten to just ask Michael, can you please do that tonight? Or there are times when I really am exhausted. I just don't want to cook. Yes. And I say, can you please be the one to prepare dinner for the children tonight? So we've gotten to be better at communicating what we want. We're already quite good communicators, but this quarantine was definitely extra because we are used to having our housekeeper to take care of stuff like that. But yes. Now, we've been doing it. So the first 3 weeks, I would say, definitely had some going on,
Yeah.
But since then, I will share with you also that I did make an effort to go and see a therapist because of this. I had just one session with her, 45 minutes. And it's almost like talking to a mentor, it's talking to a coach, talking to anyone who may be able to see it from a different perspective. And so I found someone who talks about marriage. And I voiced my discomfort and sadness on how I was feeling. And she just told me some simple things that I needed to change. perhaps being nicer to my husband and speak nicer to him, and and so I'm saying this because I bet you a lot of wives out there who are listening to this will probably feel the same way, because we do take on so much. We are nurturers at heart, right? And so sometimes it really needs to, you just have to be present and get back to one and just say, you love your husband. You really need to give respect to the other person, especially when you're in the same roof, under the same roof 24/7 for so long.
Yes.
And I started being nicer to him. Actually, he wrote me a card. He wrote me a card on my birthday, which was just a week ago. And he actually even said in the card that I've noticed you are nicer to me, which I thought was nice.
Right. And you're like, oh my God, I wasn't nice before.
Yeah, well, I know I can be. I'm a bossy person. I know that I am. I've always been that way, and that's probably what makes me a good coach, a good successful businesswoman. Yes. But sometimes I need to just calm down. I know that at home I can just sit back and be the second person in charge, and that's okay too.
Yes, you and I are similar like that because we're action taker.
Yeah,
but the nurturer in us wants to get that list knocked off, right? The laundry, the cooking, the kids.
Get it done.
So we're just like, I want to do it now, versus both of your husband, Michael, and my husband, Stephen, they're pretty similar where they get it done. They are action taker, but like you said earlier, Didi,
more relaxed.
Yeah, okay. I wouldn't say more relaxed pace, okay? But they get it done. But here's another thing about us as to our listeners out there that are wives, partners, nurturers, is we're not good at asking for help. And that I've been guilty of that. But it's okay. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Ask for help. I'm asking for more help now for my husband, and he knows how I am. So he would even come to me and say, honey, is there anything, how can I help you? How can I make it easier for you? And that means so much. And because when he can take that load off of me, I feel better. I can feel like, okay, I can take a deep breath here and don't feel like, oh, you're, as I was, I call Didi, she's like supermom. And we don't have to always be like Wonder Woman, superhero. It's okay. Right. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And it's interesting because Didi and I had a call several weeks ago. We were doing a Zoom call, and she's sitting in her office like this, and we were talking. She was coaching me, and we were going through some different, business options and just talking about business life now. And one of her twins, because her two younger ones, her two youngest one, they're a set of twins, identical twins, so darling as anything. So they're coming, and they're with Didi. They're with their mom, and they're playing with her hair and all that. And Didi's like, oh, I'm used to this. I'm like, oh no, I love it. I love being able to see the kids because we don't get to see each other frequently across the country there. So like you said, just it is as for many of you out there.
Go with the flow, right? Go with the flow.
Exactly. Because at first it was, right? When this whole thing started coming out about the virus in our country in beginning of March and heading toward middle of March, and the whole quarantine and us being more at home with one another, with the kids and our spouse, it, like Didi said, like you said earlier, Didi, it was a period of adapting. It was a period of adjustment. It's like, okay, well, how are we going to go about this now? But after that, you're like, you know what? I'm just going to take it day by day, go with the flow, do the best we can, help the kids with schoolwork and all. Are the kids is school done for the year now for the kids?
No, we have about a week and a half left.
Okay, because in Florida, the public school system, they just wrapped up. They just wrapped up.
Yeah, we're close enough. My second one is in kindergarten, so we have her graduation, which is going to be so weird, on Saturday. And my third grader will be done soon. They're doing their STAR testing now. And my twins have been in preschool time. They haven't really gone to school. So we're nearly done. But now we're shifting into a different stage. Now, when there's no school at all,
right? So what are you going to
do? It's going to be yet another challenge for the parents, right?
Okay.
Because usually we're used to going to summer camps.
That's right.
And now nothing. So there's no Zoom calls, there's no schools, there's no homework, nothing. So Now I'm thinking about what to do.
Right. But as parents, we've got to be creative now.
Yes, exactly.
Summer's here, and how are we going to keep our kids busy, and how can we be creative with that? So
exactly.
That's to keep in mind. But the thing is, you were talking about graduation. So your kindergartner is this graduation. Are they
6-year-old? So no, we just had to drive to the school, and we're doing it in the car parking lot, right? And she gets to get out of the car.
Okay.
She wears her hat, her tassel, and the tape and everything.
Okay.
But the gown. But it's weird because we're not allowed to leave the car. Yet we are letting her go close to the teacher or whoever's helping. It's supposed to be 6 feet. I mean, I don't know. It's just odd. Everything is a little odd. It's going to be fine because we're just going to do whatever it's going to be called for. But we'll be aware of, the danger if there is any. But but it's, luckily, as I said, I always see the glass half full. Kindergarten graduation, it's okay. They're not going to remember it. And it's really for the parents than for the kids because they won't remember. I mean, I don't remember my kindergarten. Do you? I don't know.
I don't remember. But it's interesting you brought up graduation because we see in social media, there's a lot of talks out there for the graduation.
Right.
And I do feel bad. And I think many listeners out there listening to us today can relate in that the ones graduating from high school, the seniors, those graduating from college with a bachelor or even from grad school. I know some that their graduation just took place for medical school. And I said, so how did you do it? What took place? And they said, well, it's just virtual. You're on a screen, they have your picture, they have your name on there, and then you just kind of move on with that. So you're right. At kindergarten, it's like, okay, what am I going to remember? But I felt bad for those graduation at the higher level at high school, college, and graduate school. But those students, they're like, yeah, but it is what it is. But you know what? I again, like you, similarly to you, Didi, is keeping that positive mindset and encouraging them and say, you know what? Okay, it was virtual, but you're ready for the next chapter in life. Yeah. You're ready to move on and see where life is going to take you. And that is really exciting.
Right. Right.
So, but another thing that now Didi, she is a big time TV producer. So share with us. You had a show called Awakening Giant.
Yes. So we had a show. We were supposed to start filming this coming fall, and it's called Awakening Giants. But it is a travel show. So the coronavirus has definitely changed up everything that we had planned. So right now it's on pause. We are unable to do what we had planned, and we'll see where it goes. But I am working on another show called Speak Up on Amazon Prime Video that films in Dallas, and Susan will be joining us during that.
I'm excited.
It's for speakers. It's like a TED Talk style presentation where we really shine light on speakers such as Susan to talk about what their message is and really get to a larger audience and really be able to have more people listen to the message from all over the world. Whoever can get Amazon Prime will be able to watch it. So I'm really excited about that.
Yes, and I'm really excited to be a part of that. So thank you for that. But here's something else that Didi did in the past, which I have watched her video and I thought was really interesting. You did something with like an elevator pitch, a show with
that was my very first TV show that I did where it's like a Shark Tank. There's 4 judges. And instead of Shark Tank, where the sharks kind of fight to get the negotiation, to get the deal, the 4 judges actually had to come together to agree to do the deal together. So all 4 of us had to say yes, which I thought it was really nice because we do it in harmony. It's an elevator pitch program where entrepreneurs actually pretend to be in an elevator. I mean, the setting is in an elevator, and they would look up in the camera to pitch to us for 60 seconds. And if we like the pitch, we would send them up. If we don't like the pitch, we send them down. And that was really my very first insight into angel investing. And that's where I got my title from, where I really enjoy help make people's dreams come true, especially at the beginning. So angel investors, when you invest in someone's business nearer the beginning of the business. So that's how it'll happen. Yeah. Yeah.
And what advice do you have for folks out there? I mean, I'm always amazed at you. You are such an amazing person in that you have all these different businesses that you're running and tending to, and then you've got the family. What advice do you have for those out there to just really balance it all? Because I know many of them are home now from work, whether they're furlough, layoff, lost their job, whatnot, and they're looking to start up a new business and trying to really concentrate on themselves and pivoting that way, but then also concentrate on, I talk a lot on health and self-care. What advice do you have for somebody who says, look, I want to concentrate on my goals, myself and all, without feeling guilty and as if I'm neglecting the family or the kids and all?
Yeah, I get this question a lot, and it's very simple. How do you balance work and life? And I will tell you, the answer is there's no balance. To be very honest with you, there are going to be times when you have to sacrifice time with your family, and there are going to be times when you sacrifice time with your business. So you have to be good at choosing and time managing. For me, I am pretty good in terms of when I do spend time with my children. It's really quality time where I am present. I am not looking at my phone trying to text people or email while I'm spending time with them. And when I actually do my business, it's the same thing. I really try to close my door and lock it, and I communicate with my husband so that I am focused on my clients and what I'm doing at work. Now, in terms of the scheduling, there have been times when I had to sacrifice time with my children, where I had to fly a lot to achieve what I've achieved. I think it depends on where you are in your entrepreneurial life, that you can decide. Now I have been very blessed that I'm shifting into a second or third gear where I actually can choose my projects. And a lot of my income comes from passive income. And I know you know that, Susan. And as business people, really, I would urge you to really think about trying to find avenues for yourself where you receive royalty and passive income. So you don't actually have to trade time for money. Yeah. And being a business mentor, this is really something that I really kind of get really strong with my clients and say, please think about other avenues of passive income and really structure and strategize their businesses so that they can become secondary. They don't need to be in person all the time to make money. So for example, both Susan and I, we have online courses. So it's something that we recorded, right? And we put it online. And anybody who wants to learn from us, because Susan has this beautiful message about really looking beyond your 2020 vision, where you're talking about really what is your purpose in life. And she talks about really deleting all the things that are not conducive to what is making you a happy, fulfilled person, and really look beyond what we call perfect vision, which is it's not just stopping at 2020. So she puts all that in online course, and I put all of my stuff in online course. And now we don't have to actually actively coach on like time for money, that people can actually buy our courses. And that's really what people need to be doing more of, especially in this day and age where virtual, digital is everything online. And so make use of this technology that we have. We're very lucky to have it in this day and age.
Well, thank you, Didi. Yes, I appreciate
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if folks were interested in finding out more about you, where can they find you, Didi?
It's so easy. You find my website. My name is Didi Wong. Is right on the screen, didiwong.com. Or if you want to email me, it's just didi@didiwong.com. And all my social media is under the same name, Didi Wong. So easy to, and that's what I would encourage you to do for yourself too, if you're a business owner. Make sure all of your names are consistent so people can find you.
Thank you, Didi. Thank you so much for being on today and for your time. I really
Thank you so much, Susan. I'm so glad we're both wearing red.
Yeah, very good color.
Take care, sister.
Thank you. Thank you, Didi.
Bye.